Take 2012, for example, when Kimi went off track during the Brazilian GP and ended up on an old escape road. Kimi Räikkönen looks to be trying to find a route home early. To be fair, there used to be a shortcut there that led back to the track, and Kimi, being practical, remembered it. What he didn't realize was that the gate had been closed off years earlier. And then there's Abu Dhabi. Driving for Lotus, Kimi suddenly took the lead after Hamilton's DNF. Our race leader going very slowly indeed, and once again it looks like something mechanical. But while dealing with the intense pressure at Yas Marina, his race engineer, Simon Rennie, chimed in with some advice the Finn didn't ask for. Okay, Kimi, next guy behind you is Alonso. Alonso 5 seconds behind you. I'll keep you updated on the gap. Leave it alone, and of course, the story didn't end there. Later in the race, Simon spoke up again. Kimi's response, okay, Kimi, we need to keep working all 4 tires, please. Keep working all, yes, I'm doing all the time. We don't have to remind everything. Simply the best. But let me ask you a question. Is there any driver even funnier than the Iceman? No, vai den lap, I can Mordecai. You guessed it. Your favorite Aussie, Daniel Ricciardo, whether he's taking a shower. Is that Telstar? Oh, cheapest. Sorry, guys. Making someone else take a shower. That's Palafkia. Or somehow convincing others to take a shower with him. Daniel has demonstrated time and time again that he's as entertaining off track as he is on it. Holy like a cheat. Best example, Silverstone 2022. Before the race, McLaren teammates Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo were invited by British television to entertain the crowd with a little friendly competition. The challenge, all you need to do, is brace to Matt Baker, who's holding up the trolley there, our presenter of Eddie Driven Monday. It's not that far. Well, always remember, kids, big bulls and no joke. Lando Norris has stacked it down the main straight. Here comes Ricciardo. Who's going to be that cutneck? Poor Norris. With crashes like that, winning a championship will be tough, huh? And if you think watching the clip was funny, just look at this picture. Seriously, take a second to appreciate everyone's expressions. Absolute comedy gold. Anyway, his approach goes even further. Daniel's antics extend to every corner of the paddock. Hey, get out of here, guy. Get out of here. Including the moment he introduced the world to the shoey. According to Wikipedia, it's a tradition that has roots in Australian culture. What a surprise, and was first popularized in Motorsport by Jack Miller in 2016 after his MotoGP win. But since then, it's Ricciardo who's taken the shoey to the next level. How? By getting everyone to take part in the strange ritual. From teammates to rivals, even presenters like Martin Brundle, famous actors like Sir Patrick Stewart, or even Gerard Butler. Yeah, the one who saved the president in the film. Isn't that cool? So I hear Mr. Butler does not drink alcohol. I respect that completely. But, I believe he's gonna, drink some Red Bull out of my Shira now, so. Gotta be kidding me. Oh. I hate you. That's it, or that. Oh. This turned the moment from a small local tradition into a cultural phenomenon. And talking about cultural phenomenons, I'm pretty sure you're going to remember this one. Lando Norris isn't just one of the most talented drivers on the grid. He's also a dog toy. Hope his career aspirations work out better than his attempt to free himself from a dog's mouth. And sure, we talked about Pele earlier, but let's be honest. Lando is the real baller. Oh, mother! Seriously, you cannot hate the guy. He's got that rare talent for making fans laugh while stealing hearts at the same time. One example, Hungary 2023. After dazzling us with overtakes like this, get to the two bridge go wheel to wheel. Verstappen has the lead, then it's Piastri, then it's Lando Norris. Or this, the two McLarens wheel to wheel at Norris's outlap. Absolutely outstanding. He secured a hard-earned podium finish. At this point, you'd think the most difficult part of this day was over, but if you followed Lando's career, you know he's a bit of a breaking streak in his past. So the moment arrived, and he celebrated in his usual style, slamming the champagne bottle onto the podium stand. Harmless tradition, huh? Not this time. The impact from the slam made Verstappen's $40,000 porcelain trophy wobble and fall off the podium, breaking into countless pieces. The look on Lando's face says it all. Part oops and part should I've run now? Meanwhile, Max's reaction was calm, almost as if he expected it. In any case, Max eventually got a new trophy, but the moment became one of the funniest podium fails ever. However, let's not forget Lando's other talents, like his knack for turning team radios into the voice auditions. In 2019, when the FP3 was underway in Austin, Norris unexpectedly started singing at radio trackers. Up, moving up and down, side to side, like a roller coaster. And if you thought this was just a one-hit wonder, think again. He brought his musical talents back at Mugello. And radio trackers. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then. Saturday, Sunday, what? Yeah, it's okay. Impressive. So, love him or laugh at him. You can't deny Lando Norris has a charm and chaos combo. It's hard to beat, but not all drivers can say the same. Think about Mr. Strulovich, for example. Lance Stroll's career is a bit like pineapple on pizza. And I know what you're thinking. Unlike Kimi, Daniel, or Lando, Mr. Strulovich is funny for entirely different reasons. Fast forward to Monaco 2021. You want to know two things that makes this track so unique on the calendar. Its local broadcasting and its lack of overtaking. On one side, you've got the Monaco TV crew in charge of the broadcast, and on the other, you've got one of the tightest circuits where overtakes are like unicorn sightings. With that said, enter Sebastian Vettel, fresh out of the pits and driving straight into an intense wheel-to-wheel battle with Pierre Gasly. Right behind him, Lewis Hamilton was waiting for any chance to capitalize on the fight ahead. It was the kind of actions fans live for. Fast, on the edge and full of skill. The camera should have been glued to this drama, but in a moment of truly inexplicable genius, the broadcast cut away to, yo, what has happened? We need to know who's gonna come out in front as we see Lance Stroll hitting the barrier and going over the curb. Hell nah, you gotta be joking. How did that happen? Why did that happen? It wasn't Lance's fault, of course, but the absurdity of cutting to him during such a crucial moment turned this into an unforgettable memory. But while Monaco was full of random surprises, the real show came later that year in Sochi. See, as the race was coming to an end, the rain got heavier, making it harder for drivers to stay on track. Teams scrambled to make the right calls, and that's when his engineer asked an important question. Can you stay out on this condition? Can you stay out? Yes. Within seconds, Lance not only lost control of his car, but also pushed Vettel into the wall. That's his teammate, Lance Stroll, just ahead of him, and Stroll, wandering over to the left-hand side, puts his teammate into the wall and slid straight into Pierre Gasly's Alpha Tauri. Oh, and that might have been an earlier moment with Pierre Gasly. Textbook comedy. The irony is that he'd shown flashes of brilliance before, like his heroic pole position in Turkey 2020. Can he dislodge his teammate Sergio Perez from pole position? Stroll crosses the line, and he does go pole. This race was a stark reminder that, for Mr. Strunovich, things can quickly swing the other way, which brings us to Brazil 2024. This time, the hilarity started before the race even began. As the cars made their way through the formation up into Lagos, everything seemed normal until, as he was making his right, he just lost it out the braking. Wow, just look, there he is. Stroll had already made himself the main character. Embarrassing? Absolutely. However, no harm done, right? He could still rejoin the track. It was just a formation lap. Plenty of time to recover and turn things around. Do you think he did that? Think again. You could reverse. You're gonna have to come into the pit lane. Oh, no. Ew. Oh, man. Lance entered the pit lane at the back. They said, "Boots the pitch." For a fact, this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, not only in motorsport, but in my life. Like, spinning out in wet conditions, okay, it happens, but getting beached while trying to rejoin the track afterwards, that's beyond human comprehension. Somehow, through it all, Lance continues to be one of the most resilient drivers on the grid. Of course, thanks to Daddy's cash. But you know who's also resilient? Like, actually in a good way. Lewis Hamilton may be a 7-time world champion and a motorsport icon, but even he's had moments that feel like they're straight out of a sitcom. Consider what happened during the 2014 Australian Grand Prix. As Hamilton made his way to the paddock, you'd assume everyone would recognize him. Well, apparently, one guard completely missed the memo. What happened next? Watch to believe it. What you do? Wow, have you got... Look. Forever. It's what what's his past to get through, but I couldn't stop laughing at the time, thinking how bad of you I'll be at your job to let that happen. Anyway, that's not the Prit's last random moment. Fast forward to 2021 in Hungary, after a chaotic first lap under wet conditions. Cause it's lights out and away we go, and Hamilton does get away very well indeed. But there does Lando Norris down the inside. Bottas has dropped 3 or 4 places, and as Lando Norris touched and into each other. Those Fab 3 Bottas and Sergio Perez. Yeah, pretty sure you remember that one. A red flag was waved, and by the time the race restarted, the track had dried. Every single driver decided to pit for slick tires. Every single one, except Sir Lewis Hamilton. As the lights went out, his sight alone on the grid was surreal. It almost felt like a glitch. The race leader is the only driver who's not come into the pit lane to change tires. Unfortunately, as entertaining as it was, the strategy didn't pan out. Hamilton pitted 1 lap later, rejoining the race at the back of the field. Am I last? Yeah, I said this. But with the odds stacked against him, Lewis did what Lewis does best. Come on guys, get on it to the rest of the race, alright? As there comes Lewis Hamilton on Antonio Giovinazzi. He needs to clear a few cars to get near Max Verstappen. He get past Danny Ricciardo as well. That will be double-double if you're Lewis Hamilton, the Mercedes, and the undercut. He took control, pulling off a brilliant recovery drive that saw him fight his way back to an astonishing 2nd place. Lewis Hamilton from 14th comes back to finish on the podiums. Très bon, très bien. Conclusion, don't mess with him. Who's the first driver that comes to mind when you think of Lewis? Maybe a certain Spaniard? Fernando Alonso's sense of humor is, to put it lightly, different gravy. From bizarre celebrations to top-tier TikToks. Yo, imagino well, now his iconic advice to leave a space. Okay, if he puts me off the track, I think you have to leave a space. Or the time you have to leave a space. He's definitely delivered some of the best moments, but if you thought those were funny, just wait until we go back to the 2009 Hungarian GP. Well, the quali, to be more exact. As you probably know, in F1, precision is everything. During the final stages of the session, the timing screen suddenly went blank. And not just a little glitch, blank like your school maths tests. With no way to see their lap times, drivers were completely clueless about their results. Confusion took over, and then questions started flying. That's the positive. I've gone over. The standard is 22.5, 21.5, 22.5, E21.5. I don't know which position I am. Finally, after Alonso was told he got pole, he just shrugged and smiled, like, okay, I'll take it. What position? For Fernando Alonso, 18ª por position della carriera. It's one of those moments that fans remember because how strange it was. As strange as this commercial. Hey, do that for some confidence, speaking like an American. Me too, can't wait to eat a hot dog. I'm totally psych, American, bro. Woo. Alright, maybe not as strange as that. All I can say is, thank goodness we have more places in America to enjoy great races. Like Brazil, for example. In 2015, during qualifying, Fernando's car broke down early on. But instead of getting angry, he grabbed a deck chair, sat by the track, and relaxed, like he was sunbathing. Perfectly captured Alonso's ability to find humor even in tough situations. Even McLaren CEO Ron Dennis said, subscribe to make me happy. Ha, just kidding. Nevertheless, the goal was to never repeat that moment again. I mean, the team hoped that the moment would never happen again. But the next year during FP2, his car gave up again. And you know, most drivers would have just gone back to the garage, annoyed. But not this guy. He's one of the cameramen. He's got one of the camera guys down there. The result, well, let's just say it wasn't exactly Hollywood quality. They said, oh, he's rubbish. What's he doing? Yeah, there's stick to Trident, my man. But hey, if you can't find Checo, I sure can. At the end of the day, he's the ultimate prankster. It's Sergio Checo Perez. Bruh. Over the years, Sergio has proven he's not just a skilled racer, but also a natural entertainer, whether it's through his off-track antics, or even behind iconic memes. Let's say what? Checo has surely created great moments. Take his legendary team radio during the 2011 Japanese GP as an example. Starting from a tough 17th position, he has worked his way up with smart tire management and a flawless two-stop strategy, eventually landing at a strong 8th place. It was an impressive drive for a rookie, but the Mexican decided to add a little comedy into the mix. By the final stages, he was trying to hold that position when he suddenly radioed his team. "Okay, forward, I go forward. Forward. Go to the finish line, keep pushing. Go to the light, keep pushing. Go to the light." Oh boy, that's a phrase that can send shockwaves through any garage, instantly raising alarms. However, before Saba could panic, he quickly followed up with, "I want doggy." The radio burst into laughter, with his engineer replying, "Actually, I made a mistake, I'm all yours for." "What?" "So I got the as well, Checo, okay?" Absolute savage. Years later, that same cheeky charm was on display during the unique Red Bull Challenge in the forest, where drivers had to navigate their way through a balloon popping course. Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, struggling with their car, became the first to hit trouble when their vehicle got stuck. Deeper down. A swarm of support crew members rushed in to help. As Checo and Max approached the scene, the Mexican driver immediately spotted an opportunity for mischief. "You have to help." "No, we don't have to. But we can." And it doesn't stop there. Red Bull's challenges have delivered some of the best Checo comedy we've seen. From the tortilla slap challenge to the popping balloons challenge, and who can forget the duck one? By the way, speaking of animals, have you noticed how many have made a surprise appearance over the years? Throughout history, we've seen plenty of animals unexpectedly crash the party. Dogs sprinting onto the track as if they're chasing an invisible stick. Now, this soy on son hun igen sommertyp, birds that couldn't care less about what's happening beneath them. And of course, deer. Tell them, JP. Go deer. Nay, you name it, we've seen it. But no animal, and I mean no animal, has ever come close to the cultural impact of the donkey. See, the 2004 season wasn't kind to Jaguar. The team was struggling to stay competitive, with many even believing that there was a curse after Christine Klien's crash in Monaco that year. Thought for some reason, and then he toboggans down on his waves underneath his right front wheel, where a $300,000 diamond, yes, a real diamond, mysteriously vanished from his car. By the way, if you want that story, let me know in the comments. It's a wild one, but let's get back to what really matters. In the middle of all this chaos, the team decided they needed something to lift their spirits.